I created this printable that gives an overview of the book of Genesis. It lists major topics like places, people, and other things that need to be mentioned in Genesis. This printable is useful and a great tool to allow you to easily journal or Bible journal through the book of Genesis. But first, let's do a Bible study on the book of Genesis. Hey y'all, I am back with another Bible journaling entry, and today we're going over the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, and rightfully so, because Genesis 1:1 states, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Genesis was written by Moses around 1450 through 1410 BC in the wilderness. This book was directed toward the Israelites while wandering in the wilderness. Genesis, the book of creation, faith, and God's promise. I always wanted to know what Genesis meant according to the Bible. It means the origin, source of creation. In Hebrew, it means in the beginning, hence Genesis 1:1. And in Greek, it means origin. And as I mentioned before, it's the first book of the Bible, but also is known as the first book of the Pentateuch. So, what is the Pentateuch? It's the Greek term for 5-volumed, which refers to the first 5 books of the Old Testament. The Jewish refer to this collection as the Book of the Law or the Law. In Hebrew, it's known as the Torah, meaning instruction, teaching, or doctrine. Genesis also lists first occurrences that happened in the world, like the first birth, listed in Genesis 4:1, or the first death in Genesis 4:8, the first musical instrument in Genesis 4:21, the first rainbow, referenced in Genesis 9, verses 12 through 17, and Jabal is mentioned, the first to raise livestock and live in tents, referenced in chapter 4, verse 20. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention God's 7-day story of creation, where on the first day he created light, and on the seventh day he honored and blessed a day of rest. During my study through the book of Genesis, I noticed and loved that they mentioned the woman with major significance in Genesis, like Eve, the first woman and the mother to all living, and Sarah, or Leah, Rachel, Bilhah, and Silpha, the mothers of the 12 tribes of Israel. Genesis is broken into 2 sections: the primeval history, which is the world before Abraham, and the history of the patriarch. I've studied the patriarch before. Patriarch is the forefathers of the Israelite nation, who are Abraham, Isaac, Joseph, and Jacob. But here's one of the many takeaways I've gotten from the book of Genesis. By reading through Genesis, I learned how God is truly faithful. I learned that God follows through with all of his promises. He stands firm in his word. What I mean by that, look at Abraham's story. Abraham is one of the few that actually saw God, El Shaddai, God Almighty. He made a promise to Abraham, changing his name to Abram, telling him that he will have countless descendants. He promised him that he will be the father of many nations. He also promised that he will give the entire land of Canaan, the promised land, to his descendants. Wow. And what's truly crazy in a good way is that God was sure to follow through with his promise. If you read past Genesis, you'll see that the promise that God made to Abraham in Genesis 17:1 through 8 was fulfilled, proving that through every obstacle that Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph may have gone through, God was sure to ensure his promise, his covenant came to pass, sending Abraham's descendants generation after generation after generation to the promised land. So, if God was so insistent in ensuring that his purpose was fulfilled, his covenant with Abraham came to pass, why won't he do the same for us? I'm hoping this video encourages you to start journaling through the Bible. If you haven't done so, pick up the printable linked in my description box and let's journal through Genesis together. I'm hoping you enjoyed the video, and if there's anything I can do better to better understand the Bible, let me know. Looking forward to chatting with you. Until next time, bye y'all. Enjoy the rest of the video.